Hi, I'm Marc Turtletaub. I'm the producer of Sunshine Cleaning, which is here at the Portland Townsend Film Festival. Sunshine Cleaning is a film that we shot in New Mexico about a year ago, directed by Christine Jeffs, starring Amy Adams and Emily Blunt. It should come out sometime next year, probably March, we're thinking. It's a story of two sisters. I forgot to mention Alan Arkin also. It's a slight slip in the film, and it stars the three of them as a. We won't give you the whole story, but it's a story of two sisters who sort of struggling in the beginning of the movie, who end up with a business cleaning up after violent episodes. Sort of a black comedy. Okay. Yeah, we went to Sundance a couple of years ago. We had Little Miss Sunshine, which we brought to Sundance. Of course, Alan Arkin in it, a young child in it, a van in it, and this movie has all of those things in it. But it's a very different movie, as you'll see. You haven't seen it yet. Yes, you'll get to see tomorrow evening. Yeah, well, it's, you know, once you start with Sunshine and once you start with Alan Arkin and the same producers, you sort of have a target on your back, I think. Yeah. They're very different movies. You know, our story, the movies we make at Big Beach are movies about human connection, and sometimes they go to dark places, sometimes they don't, but it's always about human connection and hopefully ultimately illuminating something about the human condition. Yeah, we love the screenplay. My partner Peter and I have worked on a number of films together. Sherry Baby with Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Laurie Collier directing Little Miss Sunshine. This one, we just finished a film in the UK called Is There Anybody There, starring Sir Michael Caine. And the common denominator in all of these films, it was either the filmmaker or the screenwriter's first screenplay made into a movie, and so they all have wonderful voices. If we could just sort of check off the boxes and say these are the two things we look for, it's an original voice. It's you know, as I said, we're looking for connection between people ultimately, without being goody two shoes. The story in the UK, Is There Anybody There, is a story of a young boy who has to move out of his bedroom. His parents have turned their home into a home for the elderly, and Michael Caine moves into his bedroom. So it's about their relationship, about young and old, and sort of the lessons of each. And so that's a very peculiar story to that screenwriter, who's in fact his family turned their home into a home for the elderly. So to compare that to the other stories, each one's very personal. Each one's personal to those screenwriters. We just look for a great voice and a powerful story with an emotional connection. We have hopefully in the next, we think in the next at least 9 months, we'll be releasing 3 films. We have Sunshine Cleaning, of course. We'll have Is There Anybody There, the film I was just talking about with Sir Michael Caine. And the third one is an untitled Sam Mendes project, which is written by Dave Eggers and his wife and Levita. So that's the third one, and that will be out sometime in the next 9 months. Filmmaking is an incredibly interesting and dynamic art that requires an enormous loss of ego. If you want to, it's not like painting a picture where it's you and that canvas, or you're playing a guitar and you and that guitar. It's you and 150 of your closest friends. So you have to be able to collaborate, and I think that's the biggest learning for me in the business. Just by their very nature, they're collaborative. The screenwriter, unless he or she is the one who directs the film, takes it to a certain point and then has to hand it off. They may come back and do some tweaks as you're getting close to shooting, and sometimes actually during the shooting phase, but they essentially hand it off. And then the producers who may work or develop that script to get it to a certain place essentially have to hand it off to the director, and the director stays with it all the way through, but the editor plays a big role. So, and all the way through, it's a collaboration, which can be incredibly invigorating if you don't think you have to control everything yourself.
Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind. I'll follow you into the dark.